Alright, so this is the evening of day 38. 38 days since I bought these two little red-tailed catfish. And when I bought them, they were about 2 weeks old. So 38 days plus 2 weeks. Getting big really fast. Got one down by the drain plug down there. Let's see where the other one is here. Probably under the filter. Yes. Look at how big he is. That's amazing. Every time I look at them, they're bigger. They used to fit in the handle here when they were younger, but yeah, I think I don't even think they can get their head in that little handle space right now. Now I'm going to drain the filter so I can feed them so they don't get distracted. Otherwise they just hide. Ooh, they're getting a little frisky down there. Yeah. Getting friendly down there, I see. Alright, so it looks pretty clean. But I still see a few pieces of food from the last feeding, so I'm going to clean up here a little bit. Just to kind of get the last few pieces. I always start with the beef liver, so we're going to start with the beef liver today, and then I end with a variety of different things. I give them the beef liver at least once a day, and then I end with either tilapia or shrimp, or I actually have some chicken liver, but I've only used that once. I haven't used that. Maybe I'll do chicken liver in the next feeding. And still got a little catfish foam over here. Some weird foam on the top. I don't know what that's from. I haven't really seen foam like that in an aquarium. It's weird that I'm getting foam in this hot tub catfish pond. Alright, so I tried to chop this up a little bit more. I was actually feeding in the last video. I was feeding some food that was a little bit too big and they were like choking it down. I felt bad that I didn't chop it fine enough. So this, I tried to chop it a little bit finer so they're not choking down the big chunks. Let me move it over up by the wall. Seems like they like it by the wall over there. Alright, so I'm going to take this camera, put it in an underwater housing, and give you a little underwater video. Alright, so today is the morning of day 39 with these two little red-tailed catfish. And today I'm doing another water change. It seems like I'm always doing water changes. I'm doing 50% every week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook this hose up to this pump. This pump will actually pump out the water. It will drain it down about halfway. Alright, so before we start pumping it out, I actually wanted to show you the filter. This is from 2 weeks. Not too bad. It actually pulls in water from the middle and then moves it towards the outside, so it seems like the inside's dirtier than the outside. Not too bad for 2 weeks for these little guys. And then this is the filter, like the pre-filter up top, and then underneath we actually have some carbon that I'm going to change out the carbon this time. So I'm going to take these up to the sink, wash out the filters, change out the carbon, get all that set before we start draining. All right, so I have this pump draining the hot tub catfish pond. It looks like I have a little bit of uneaten food down there from the last feeding. I'm gonna have to get in there after I drain it down and clean that out too. So I'm gonna let this drain for about an hour, and I'll come back and I'll see where it's at. All right, so I told you I was gonna drain for an hour. Yeah, we don't wanna drain for an hour. We wanna drain for half an hour. Half an hour brings it about halfway down. If I would have drained for an hour, yeah, there wouldn't be any water left in this thing. All right, so we're gonna fill it for an hour, drain it for half an hour. So that's pretty much as low as I wanna go. That's about 50%. I'm gonna start filling it up. All right, so since I have it drained down a bit, I'm gonna do a little bit of cleanup with my net and get some of this food. Seems like I missed quite a bit of food since the last feeding. Way more than I usually miss. Look at all that food down there. Seems like it's easier to clean it up too, since it's like at a lower level. I don't want to scoop up a catfish. Got to be really careful so I don't crunch the little guy down here when I'm cleaning up with this big old net. These fish are still pretty small compared to this net. All right, so I'm actually using a flexible garden hose to fill it up. Filling it up from the kitchen sink. I used a quick read thermometer to dial it in about 78 degrees to get the temperature right. So I'm going to walk away for about an hour. An hour this time. It takes about an hour, usually about an hour, 10 minutes, hour 15 to fill this up. All right, so I filled it up for an hour. I think I'm going to go for about 10 more minutes. All right, so there you have it. Water change is complete. I actually filled it up for an hour and 10 minutes. It's about where it normally is, maybe a little bit lower. I don't want it too high because then the fish could potentially jump out. And usually after a water change, I don't do a feeding. It's the only time during the week that I don't feed. All right, so thanks for coming along. Thanks for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.